Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan here. Basically, we are discussing on the topic city creation. One of the person told that basically city creation data, this data basically who decides basically. One of the person told that basically that are the medicine industry and one of the army industry. So one of the person asked the question basically, if you have enemy with both basically, then basically what you are going to do? Assume that basically you are searching the job and you basically connect with both people and both basically people basically told that basically अरे भाई इसके तो लक्षण ठीक नहीं है basically and they basically rejected basically. Assume basically just taking as an example basically that doctor group and the medicine group basically both rejected, army group also basically they rejected Sunil R. Nair. Just taking as an example basically. Now basically how Sunil R. Nair is going to search basically job. So he is going to fight with these two group basically. Then one of the person told that Sunil basically see the army group basically Baba see army group basically. How much army big army groups are basically. See basically. Indian Army list of Indian Army groups. So see basically. Now you are going to fight with this all group basically. That is not possible here basically. See basically. Rajputana. You can fight with Rajputana groups basically. Then basically see Madras group, Punjab is also there. See basically Bihar is also there. See basically. See basically. See basically. See the group basically. See basically. Sikh recruitment is also there. Brigade is also there. Basically. So one of the person told that you can fight with these people basically. Then Sunil Narayan told that basically that is very difficult. Yeah, basically. That's very difficult to fight with this group basically. Because they are basically creating the they are few people says that basically this data basically which is getting mapped and basically vitamin A basically contains which blast data and which city creation data that are basically decided by this group also and medical industry group also basically. And the software industry basically also jumped into that basically. In between basically the software industry are basically there. In between these two groups are basically there. So one of the person told that that's why basically the software industry basically might be working from home basically. Because they have also jumped into that basically. So one of the person told that basically these groups are basically there basically. Who decides this data? This data, this data, then basically this data, then this data, then this data also basically they collect basically. Each and every person going to die basically na, and going to take birth. For example, I will take just one example. Going to get birth. That basically we have basically already discussed in next video basically. Next that is vitamin K basically. So here also basically we will take basically. So one of the person told that Sunil R. Nair is going to die. So that basically who decides? Vitamin E basically. Any person going to die. Any person basically, any person basically. See, each and every 900 crore people, single person basically, single group basically, single people basically. He is going to die. That is decided by vitamin E basically. Going to get birth basically. Going to get birth means his sperm, for example, men basically can get give the birth basically. Help basically for the birth process basically with the help of the ladies. So he is going to generate his sperm is going to generate what basically the future child basically. That is the birth basically. So that is also basically decided by whom basically. That is decided by vitamin E data basically, and that basically contains that basically are used by how many people basically. That is how many blood group basically are using vitamin E data basically. So it's very dangerous basically. I am telling you, it's the world basically is reached to very dangerous level basically. Vitamin K basically, next generation. Vitamin F basically. which is the good direction of Earth planet basically. Right now basically it's at the top where basically the Earth planet basically must move basically. So that is also decided by the public basically. That means it's very dangerous job of the doctors and army group here basically. That's why basically few people say that basically army group are always ready. They have to be always ready for war basically, because Earth planet basically is going to move that side basically. Suddenly they basically change the decision that the Earth planet is going to move that side, not this side basically, that side. So immediately basically they have to start the war basically, because they have to maintain the balancing basically. So it's very dangerous basically, very dangerous basically. So one of the person told that this is the very dangerous data basically, that Earth planet basically good direction is which basically, which is the good direction basically of the Earth planet. That is also basically decided by the blood groups only basically. Vitamin G basically. When will your wife basically, and how many, this is basically connected. I am taken just an example basically. How, when basically you are going to get marriage, and then basically how, when you are going to get the birth basically, when your wife is going to get the birth basically, that is decided by vitamin J basically. So here basically I am talking about each and every people basically who are basically getting the generation basically. If they are given the generation, then basically they have to take care also basically. If they are not giving the generation, that means they can't take care basically in that country basically, or basically in that city basically. So you have to move that city basically. If not a single city is basically helping you basically, then basically there is some problem basically. So you have to find out that solution basically, and basically that contains this data also basically. So one of the person told that basically this is question data basically, that is this data basically. Who is this everything basically we have discussed basically. Chief Minister, that basically this also basically we have discussed. 100 plane basically taking that basically near Himalaya basically, and he basically gets the Chief Minister post. That basically we have data also basically we have discussed basically. So one of the person told that basically this thing basically we can't add in directly in front of the public basically. So we have created this system basically, that is the medical industry basically. That is vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, that is going to generate this everything. That is going to generate this everything. So one of the person told that basically nowadays basically software industry basically plays very dangerous role basically, plays very dangerous role basically. So that is data role basically. That basically this company we have already discussed basically, that is Nelson. Here basically I have taken example of Nelson Group basically. NIQ Vadodara. See basically, this is the website basically of NIQ Vadodara. About NIQ basically. About NIQ means about NIQ group. See basically. See basically the data also see basically which kind of photo basically they are displaying. See basically the company. They have their data, they have their YouTube also. They have their YouTube also. See basically. See basically.
Uma pesquisa da Nielsen e da Opinion Box revela que quase metade das nas entrevistas de emprego. A gente vai conversar.
Esse levantamento que evidencia, comprova o que nós mulheres vemos, vivemos e noticiamos, né? Dia após dia. Esse levantamento, além de